What's going on? Vital Potato here, and I'll be talking about some tips and tricks for the War Z. In some of my previous War Z videos, I had a lot of people requesting in the comments that I do some type of a tips and tricks video or how to get started with this game, because if you haven't played DayZ and you're just jumping into this game without previous experience of this type of game, it can be kind of confusing, and there's lots of differences between DayZ. So even if you are a DayZ player, there's some things that hopefully I can show you guys. So let's go ahead and go through these. If you guys want to see another tips and tricks video, let me know down in the comments, and if I think of some more tips, then I'll probably make another video on it. So first thing is always run around with your binoculars out. Now, yes, there's exceptions to this. If you're running into a building and you think somebody's in there, yeah, you should probably have your shotgun out. But in general, if you're just exploring or you're just walking around and you know there's no immediate threat, walk around with your binoculars out, because there's a couple of advantages. Number one, you don't have a gun in your hands, so you don't look quite as dangerous. Now, if you have your gun still in your primary slot in your inventory, then it's going to be on your back. So if you want to look completely not dangerous, and hopefully maybe somebody won't shoot you because of that, then you can actually put your gun in your backpack instead of in your immediate inventory, so you can just, you can't switch to it quickly, but you'll look a little bit more friendly. And if you run around with your binoculars out, you can look through them, and you can zoom in pretty far, farther than a sniper can. It's really clear. Some of the sniper scopes are actually really blurry and hard to see through, so just in general, always run with the binoculars out, because you'll kind of have that advantage of being able to see things at a distance and also not look so terrifying. Next thing is stop sprinting right before your stamina depletes. If you do keep sprinting after your stamina depletes completely, then what happens is there'll be a little bit delay where your character tries to catch his breath. It's like a 1 or 2 second delay, and then your stamina will start recharging. Well, if you don't actually let it deplete completely, then you can have it recharge instantly. So just wait till it gets very, very close to being completely depleted, then wait for it to recharge. That way it will recharge a little bit faster. You can sprint and actually outrun people that don't know this little tip. All right, so lots of painkillers and bandages. Those are like the two easiest medical supplies to find, because if you have a lot of these items, you don't need food and water. And food and water are actually a lot rarer than you would think. Water isn't so much, but food is actually pretty rare. And if you don't eat and if you don't drink, then you either starve or you can die of thirst, and you'll start losing health. It's a gradual losing of health, but you can just keep using bandages to heal yourself. So essentially, you're just eating bandages. Yeah, but anyway, that works. If you just don't have food and water, just use bandages and painkillers or some type of low, easy to find healing item. Next thing is items stack. Now, only certain items stack. For example, you can't have like 4 M16s stack. You can't have backpacks stack. Any of like the important items like that don't stack. But things like bottled water, things like food, those things stack. So it's actually a better idea to have, and it only counts as 1 slot. So say, for example, I have a 4-slot backpack. I could have a million bottled waters as long as they're all the same type of bottled water. So what it's best to do is actually pick and choose what type of loot you're going to carry. For me, I always carry the 375 milliliter water bottles, and those are the only types of water I'll get, and I have like a couple hundred of them in my inventory, not on my character, but in my global inventory. I always carry bandages, and I always carry painkillers and antibiotics. Antibiotics heal you instantly to complete health, so save those till you're in combat, because if you get hit, chances are you're probably either dead or almost dead, and you can just quickly take an antibiotic and your health is completely restored instantly, which is pretty stupid, and I think that needs to be changed. I like the way it works in DayZ a lot better, but to take advantage of it, then you might as well use those when you need them. All right, next thing is if you're in third person and you're zoomed, meaning you have like a bat out, you can't have a sniper rifle or binoculars out, because those actually aim down your scope or your binoculars. But if you have something that doesn't ADS, like a pistol or a bat, and you're in third person and you press and hold right click and you press shift, you'll actually switch which shoulder you're looking over. So it's really good if you're trying to look around a corner and you're maybe looking over the right shoulder, but you need to peek around the left corner, or you're looking over your left shoulder and you need to peek around the right corner. So that's been pretty helpful and saved me a couple times. All guns spawn with at least one, they always spawn with 1 magazine. Sometimes you'll find other magazines around where they spawn, but if you ever find a gun that somebody didn't drop or somebody didn't die and drop, chances are, well, it's almost guaranteed that there's going to be at least 1 magazine in that. And if it's a shotgun, then that means it's probably going to have full shells, for example. If you have the Mossberg, it's going to be 8 shells in the shotgun. Okay, when you're using a melee weapon, say for example a bat, a hammer, or anything like that, or a knife, if you aim actually above the head of either a person or a zombie, you'll actually hit the head hitbox. So the hitbox is actually a little bit screwed up, and when you knife normally, you actually hit a little bit lower than where you're aiming. So aim a little bit above their heads, probably like 6 inches, or 4 or 5 or 6 inches above their head. You'll have to kind of test it yourself. Depends on how close you are to them. But if you actually aim a little bit above their head, then you'll actually hit their head, and headshots do a lot more damage than body shots to both players and to zombies. Also, another thing to do when you're versing zombies with a melee weapon is to circle them. Just keep going around in circles, because it's very hard for them to actually hit you. And if you do this, then it's basically can just kill as many zombies as you want. Also, always try and make it so you're battling 1 zombie at a time. 1 zombie is incredibly easy to kill. 10 zombies, you're fucked. So really, the number of zombies is really what's going to get you killed. Another thing you can do to get rid of zombies or to deal with zombies, especially in large numbers, is get on something that's tall. Jump on top of something. For example, a truck. Now, it can't be a car. Cars aren't high enough, but like a truck, a garbage can, the big garbage cans in alleys or something like that, or like boxes or something like that. If you get up, it's like if you jump on something that's like 8 feet or taller, maybe 9 feet. I don't know exactly what it is. The zombies will not be able to hit you. Basically, they'll walk up to you and they won't jump up on the box, whatever, or the car that you're on. They'll just stand there, and you can basically crouch and hit them with your melee weapon. So it's pretty gay, especially if you're getting surrounded or attacked by a lot of zombies. Get up on something on the high ground, and you can just kill them easily without them being able to do anything to you. Another thing about cars is always look in cars for loot. There's a lot of loot in cars. It's a very common place to find food and water, but I've also found pistols. I've also found even shotguns and sniper rifles in cars, and cars are all over the map. They're basically everywhere, so always make sure to check cars for spawns for loot. Also, another thing is in third person, you can obviously look around corners, use that to your advantage, and remember to use the shift thing to switch which shoulder you're looking over. So don't ever expose yourself unless you have to. One of the problems with having third person, which I like having third person for enjoying and exploring maps and stuff, but the problem is that you can be exploited by basically looking around corners and not exposing yourself, and you can do that in this game as well as in DayZ. And the last thing I want to say is trust no one. Unless you know them, don't trust them. So that's just how the name of the game. This game is a lot less forgiving than DayZ. I've run into many people in DayZ that don't shoot me on sight or don't kill me on sight, even when I have good stuff. But in this game, if you're unarmed and somebody comes up to you, he's going to kill you. I have never run into somebody that doesn't kill me, either on sight or after I turn my back on them. So anyway, those are just some tips and tricks for the War Z. If you guys want to see more of these, then let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try and make another video with a list of some more tips and tricks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to email, like, or favorite, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.